12 complex formulas. As noted in Section 2, a statement connective forms larger compound statements out of smaller statements. Now, these smaller statements may themselves be compound statements. That is, they may be constructed out of smaller statements by the application of one or more statement connectives. We have already seen examples of this in Section 2. Associated with each statement simple or compound is a symbolic abbreviation, or translation. Each acceptable symbolic abbreviation is what is customarily called a formula. Basically, a formula is simply a string of symbols that is grammatically acceptable. Any ungrammatical string of symbols is not a formula. For example, the following strings of symbols are not formulas in sentential logic. They are ungrammatical. N1 and PQN2 P and QN3 PQN4 P and Q. By contrast, the following strings count as formulas in sentential logic. F1 P and Q, F2 P and Q are F3 P and Q, F4 P and Q P and are F5 P and Q P and are. In order to distinguish grammatical from ungrammatical strings, we provide the following formal definition of formula in sentential logic. In this definition, the script letters stand for strings of symbols. The definition tells us which strings of symbols are formulas of sentential logic, and which strings are not. 1. Any uppercase Roman letter is a formula. 2. If A is a formula, then so is A. 3. If A and B are formulas, then so is A and B. 4. If A and B are formulas, then so is AB. 5. If A and B are formulas, then so is AB. 6. If A and B are formulas, then so is AB. 7. Nothing else is a formula. Let us do some examples of this definition. By clause 1, both P and Q are formulas, so by clause 2, the following are both formulas. PQ. So by clause 3, the following are all formulas. P and Q P and Q P and Q P and Q. Similarly, by clause 4, the following expressions are all formulas. PQ 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 PQ. We can now apply clause 2 again, thus obtaining the following formulas. P and Q P and Q P and Q P and Q PQ 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 PQ. We can now apply clause 3 to any pair of these formulas, thus obtaining the following among others. PQ and PQ PQ and PQ. The process described here can go on indefinitely. There is no limit to how long a formula can be, although most formulas are too long for humans to write. In addition to formulas, in the strict sense, given in the above definition, there are also formulas in a less strict sense. We call these strings unofficial formulas. Basically, an unofficial formula is a string of symbols that is obtained from an official formula by dropping the outermost parentheses. This applies only to official formulas that have outermost parentheses. Negations do not have outer parentheses. The following is the official definition of an unofficial formula. An unofficial formula is any string of symbols that is obtained from an official formula by removing its outermost parentheses if such exist. We have already seen numerous examples of unofficial formulas in this chapter. For example, we symbolized the sentence "it is raining and it is sleeting" by the expression "aren't" officially. The latter is not a formula. However, it is an unofficial formula. The following represent the rough guidelines for dealing with unofficial formulas in sentential logic. When a formula stands by itself, one is permitted to drop its outermost parentheses if such exist, thus obtaining an unofficial formula. However, an unofficial formula cannot be used to form a compound formula. In order to form a compound, one must restore the outermost parentheses, thereby converting the unofficial formula into an official formula. Thus, the expression "aren't", which is an unofficial formula, can be used to symbolize "it is raining and it is sleeting." On the other hand, if we wish to symbolize the denial of this statement, which is "it is not both raining and sleeting," then we must first restore the outermost parentheses, and then prefix the resulting expression by. This is summarized as follows. "It is raining and it is sleeting" are an S. "It is not both raining and sleeting" are an S.